What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the idea of letting go, and specifically why it's not really what you think. It's not really what people, it's not what it's cracked up to be online, okay? So, letting go. When you see this phrase of letting go, what do you imagine? You imagine letting go, like the physical letting go of something. And so what a lot of people think, and this gets talked about a lot online, is okay, letting go means I'm just gonna focus on other things, right? I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna take my mind off this topic. Now, while there is an aspect of this which is absolutely correct, you don't want to be, if you are going blue in the face, right? Going and deliberating over something and you're making it struggling and straining to get this thing, there is what Vadim Zeland calls something that arises, which is excess potential, also known as over importance. So when you have something and you make something too important, there's this excessive potential, this energy that is created. You can think about it like this. And when you are exerting tons and tons of energy onto this thing, this scale goes out of balance. And, I always talk about this like the union of opposites and the law of three. On one side we have this, the law of polarity states that everything is basically the same, but on a spectrum. That's just for a different discussion, but this law of three gets played out everywhere. But essentially, when you have this thing and you're putting it on a pedestal, you are saying this thing is above me. It's on a pedestal up here. And I'm looking up at this thing because I'm making it too important. I'm making it more important than myself, right? I'm making it more important. And if you are doing that, then you're taking your power outside of yourself, right? You've heard people talk about these ideas before. Okay, that's all well and good, right? And that does make sense. However, there's another aspect to this, and that is when you begin to calmly take steps in the direction of this goal, then you are naturally going to dissipate this importance. Because a lot of this importance, a lot of this over importance, putting it on a pedestal, take the idea, right? Very simple idea. Guy sees a girl, right? Boy sees a girl. If you're a guy, you can resonate with this. It's a very, very familiar feeling when you're growing up. Even as an adult, you see a girl, you're like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. You put her on this pedestal. This could also, you could relate as a woman. I'm sure you've had an experience like this, but what does that do? It creates this disparity in this energy. There's this strange energy. What you'd find though, as a guy and going through this process, is that when you actually do walk up to the girl and say something, even if it just completely fails miserably, well, what have you just done? You have dissipated that energy. There's this energetic tension between you and this thing that you desire, this object of your desire. It doesn't have to be women, doesn't have to be men, it could be other things. But for this example, that tension is released by the simple act of going up and saying, hey, what's up? The same thing could be said of posting a video, right? You're so scared, you're so concerned about what people are going to react to you posting this video online. You're so concerned about getting rejected from this interaction. That is what is creating this overimportance. That is what is creating this excess potential here. So that's the key thing that doesn't get talked about enough in this community. And that's where I disagree with a lot of people. You will begin to dissipate the action by taking action. So let me give you guys an example here. Speaking of, the whole dating example, right? So there was about a year ago, I had signed up for this app that is like very exclusive. It's like for influencers, and it's for like people that are, it's like an invite only type of thing, right? It's one of these dating apps that's like invite only. So I signed up for it. I got a bunch of referrals and invites, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do. And for a year, I hadn't heard anything back from them, right? My application was pending review, right? And I'm just sitting here like, man, there's a lot of people I know, because I got like 6 or 7 referrals to this app, like invites of people that I know. And none of them have, like, most of the people that I actually know that I referred me, I got some girls that referred me and I got some guys that referred me. And neither the guys or the girls actually have as much of a social media presence as I do. Or they don't even have, like, in my opinion, not to talk, not to be like condescending at all, but their pages, they don't look uh polished or like an influencer or anything, any of these things, right? So I was just like, yeah, it's weird, whatever, and eventually I think it was about a week ago, because I don't like using the regular dating apps that much. I mean, I'll get on them, but to be honest, there's a lot of low quality profiles, and just, again, not to be all like, oh my gosh, like I'm so much better than you guys, but it's just like there's a lot of people that are on these regular dating apps. It's the same thing when you go into like a regular any sort of regular venue, any sort of regular like dive bar. If you go to a dive bar, for example, and you're going there to potentially meet interesting people or people that you'd be interested in, the types of people that you're going to find there, whether men or women, are not going to be at the same kind of level of mindset, thoughts, as if you go into some more exclusive type of place. Okay, that's just the way that things work. I used to live in LA. I mentioned this before, and so I have experience with these things. I used to work in some of these high tier nightlife places in LA, and the simple fact is that you just get a different crowd in the different places that you go to. So it's the same thing online, right? But I was just like, you know what? F this. Like, I'm just going to rework my profile, right? Because I have a success story on here as well. Again, if you guys go back through my videos, how I got my relationship, I was in a relationship, and the whole thing manifested from me taking action, right? Because I wanted to, I was stuck in my hometown. This was after the pandemic. I went out to go visit my friends. And so I got on these apps. I even hired a dating coach to help me set up my profile so that I would actually get matches. Because here's the thing, like, again, all situations for everyone is different, but you see all these guys complaining about dating apps, and rightfully so, because it is hard to stand out on a dating app, especially as a guy. Because if you look, they've done studies on this, women will get so many more matches in their DMs than guys. Women may have a different problem, right? Which is that they can't find the types of guys or the quality of guys that they actually want. But men have a problem even getting the matches to begin with, right? So finally got like the pictures sorted out so that I was actually getting good matches. And again, what did that happen from taking action? I had the pictures already, right? It's just that I wasn't selecting the right ones that were actually going to get me matches until I literally hired a dating coach to help me pick the pictures that would actually get me the result, right? So again, that's another form of me taking action. Ended up, having success with that, right? So I was in a relationship, and partly due to the fact, actually, yeah, it wouldn't have happened had I not figured that out, got my profile set up so that I was actually getting those matches and those high quality of matches coming into the profile. Anyways, long story short, just now recently, I'm like, okay, because my profile, again, things change over time, right? So the same pictures I was using a couple years ago, they're not pulling in the same quality of matches that they were before. And again, I'm not like, oh my gosh, like I need dating apps, but it's like, I like to have them, especially when I'm in my hometown, especially when there's not much going on. It's nice to be able to meet people in that fashion, especially when you're in an area where there's not really much going on or not very many opportunities to meet people in person. I much prefer meeting people in person, to be honest with you, but it's nice to have as an option. So what did I do? I was like, you know what? F this whole like exclusive thing. Like, I don't need this. So I started reworking my profile. I started getting my pictures going again, like switching out the pictures, working on it again to try to craft this profile again, right? On like all the regular apps. What do you know? As soon as I do that, I get an email from this app. You guys may know of it. You may have heard of it before, the exclusive one. That's like, congratulations, you've been accepted. What is that other than me taking action, me dissipating this excess potential through taking action, Because the action, what does the action actually mean? The action means that I have let go. The action is an indication to the universal energy, whatever you want to call it, that's like, you know what? I'm going to get this figured out either way. I'm going to make this happen for myself. You make that decision. As soon as you make that decision is included, action is inclusive with that decision. Because as soon as I say to myself, fuck this, I'm going to get these apps working no matter what. What is included with that is me getting the apps working no matter what. It's not just me saying that and then having some cognitive dissonance where I'm like, well, I said I was going to get this working, but all these manifestation coaches said that I am the technique and that I don't need to take action. Because then I'd be giving myself a mind fuck, and then I wouldn't be able to get anything right either. Because if I keep the same shitty pictures, or even though I think they might be good, if they're not working anymore, even if they used to be good, right? Even if they used to work, but now they're not bringing me matches anymore. If I'm sitting here thinking, well, that's just their fault, and they should people should just realize that my pictures are good anyways. You see a lot of these guys that will complain about this. They'll complain about dating apps. They'll complain about the dating in the modern dating, right? But then they're not taking any action. They're not actually going to do anything. All they want to do is complain. And so this goes in any realm of life. We're talking about dating right now because it's a relevant subject, and I think it's a great example to show this. Dating is a huge aspect of people's lives. People want to pretend that dating is something that just naturally happens. And it can naturally happen, just like anything else in life with manifesting and all this stuff, but the chances of it happening naturally are very small. I will say that the people that are the best at anything, if they see, and then on a dating app especially, it is like you are selling yourself. It's just like sales, because people come to your page. It's the same thing as like you have a website that has a business and you have a product or a service that you're selling on there. People have to scroll through the page and be like, okay, does this look good or no? And you are essentially selling yourself on this app. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. That is what is going on. And so to come at these things with this idea that's just like, oh, it should just naturally happen. People should just naturally see the value of my product, which in this case would be yourself, is the same mindset as people setting up their product on a store. The store page, the website doesn't look good. Their content that's funneling them in, they're not doing a good job. They're not explaining things very well. And they're just like, well, people should just understand that the product is valuable. People should just know that it's valuable. People should be buying the product, even though I haven't presented it in a way which shows them the value of this. That's part of it, is you have to present whatever it is, in the case of dating, yourself. In the case of sales or business, it's your product. You have to be able to present it in a way that is compelling for your audience or for the people that you are looking to attract. So it's just a matter of being able to entertain two things. This is a high level concept. What is this? We've talked about this before. This is, well, not a very good depiction of it here, but you get what this is, right? The yin yang. Yin yang. We've always seen this growing up. And what is this depicting though? What is this really depicting? It's really depicting the union of opposites. And that's a high level concept that, yeah, it's all good. People can get this tattooed or have this on their art or on their wall or whatever. But like what it's really communicating is the idea of being able to entertain the union of opposites. On one hand, you could say it's the yin or the feminine. On the other hand, you could say it's the yang or the masculine. And in this community, guys, everybody's preaching all this all day long. Yin energy all day long. Or in the hustle culture community, people are preaching this energy all day long. Yang energy, only working, only work your head down. Monk mode, ghost mode, work until your fingers start bleeding type of energy. But what is really powerful is in between. Neither extreme is going to get you the results that you really want. Because both of these are necessary in order to really develop a strong, powerful personality. In order for you to be a powerful person, you can't be ignoring part of yourself. We both have, men and women, we both have these aspects to us, this feminine energy, this masculine energy, and to be able to take them both, dial them both up so that they are both serving us, using them in a productive manner for productive means, that is when you're going to really, really start seeing stuff take off. And again, going back to this example, it's like, yeah, I'm in the flow. I could be in the flow. I could be following my impulses, right? And part of that might be that I do need to pay a coach. In the dating example, it's like, or in a business example, I'm paying, like right now I'm part of these masterminds, I'm part of these things, and I'm actually DMing a lot of guys as well because I want to surround myself with more guys that are like entrepreneurs that are pushing themselves to grow in all areas. Now, do I really feel like doing that? I don't like texting, really, to be honest with you guys. I don't like DMing. I don't enjoy it. Whether it's texting guys, texting girls, I'd much rather meet up with somebody face to face. I enjoy that very much more. So do I enjoy sitting here like DMing guys and joining these groups on Instagram or these groups, of entrepreneurs and stuff like that? Not necessarily. I don't enjoy the actual act of like texting all these people. But is it something that I'm going to get results from? Is it something that I'm going to benefit from? I would say absolutely it is. And in order to maintain relationships, in order to do these things, in order to grow as a person, a lot of the times you have to do things that you don't really feel like doing. Even with this YouTube channel, I'll come up with video ideas. I'll come up with different things. I will follow my intuition, yes, but then I will also be asking people. I'm in also a couple different groups for that, where I was asking this guy, what he thinks that I could do to actually improve my thumbnails or to actually improve my I'm always looking to grow whatever it might be, right? But having that thirst, having that willingness to look at yourself and be like, okay, how can I improve? Is again accepting this union of opposites. You can accept, look, I know I'm the man, right? Like I know I'm a valuable person. And going back to the dating app example, I know that for example, right? As long as the girl and as long as we're not too different personality wise and all this, as long as there's a mutual attraction there, I know that she's gonna have fun with me if we go out on a date, right? I just know it. I have enough experience. I know I've met enough women in my life. I've spent enough time with them that I know that she's gonna have a great time. But the thing is do I also have to accept that on some level, my pictures may not be conveying that. The photos that I have on the dating app, if I'm not getting enough matches, I need to rework them, right? And so there, you can entertain two ideas at once, but this is an advanced level concept that most people don't want to talk about because they want to give you the quick and simple fix. They want to tell you that all you need to do is imagine it and you don't need to take any action, yet you need to buy their course in order to, which again is a contradiction because by buying their course, you are taking action. They want to tell you that you can sit there and imagine the money coming and that it's just going to enter into your bank account. Is that possible? I'm not saying that it's not possible, but why, would you want to just, even if that is possible, even if you are able to, let's say, manifest $1,000 in your bank account, why wouldn't you want to actually create a system or a business or a lifestyle that is conducive to you receiving that amount of money or more on an ongoing basis? Because that is what I would prefer. Same thing for relationships' sake. Yeah, could you manifest an SP one time by sitting there just visualizing that they're gonna somehow magically show up and they're gonna do all the work and they're gonna, fly you out to France? Maybe. But, focusing on yourself, improving your offer, whether it's on the dating market, whether it's on the business market front side of things, is going to be valuable to you. Now, I will say, as far as dating goes, it is different for men and women, 100% different. Men are the ones that are expected to make the approach and do all this, so you can definitely lean more into this if you are a woman. You can lean more into the energy, and you can be attractive and magnetic and enter into that receiving energy. As a guy, though, if you try to do this, you're highly limiting yourself. If you're just literally all the time waiting for women to approach you, and let's say that you're trying to get a date, you're completely limiting yourself. To like 99% of women, or like 9 out of 10 women, are not going to even make the approach, even if they like you. So these are all things that need to be understood, and these are all things that need to be. And even if you are a woman, you also want to be giving the guy some sort of sign of interest. This is how it used to work back in the olden days. The woman would like drop her handkerchief, right? And it would be like a signal that the guy can pick it up and then give it to her, and then they begin their conversation and the courtship and all this. So like, if you're just sitting there in this whole energy of like, I'm never going to do anything, you're really just limiting yourself, right? So with that being said, guys, I hope that I've shed some light, giving you guys some real good examples here. You know, it's important for me to be honest with you guys about certain things that I've had success doing, because that way you can see my perspective and see, okay, yeah, that does make sense. This is how he was able to get this result. In this case, like I said, me fiddling around with my profiles and my apps, and now that I'm mentioning as well, it's not just with the dating, it's like a networking. This exclusive one I'm talking about, there's also guys on there too. So now I actually have the opportunity to message other guys that are, you know, doing entrepreneurship, traveling around. And to be honest with you guys, like, I know a lot of people that are on a path of self-growth, and people that are into self-development and all this stuff, like growing and pushing themselves. A lot of your friends, like from high school or from college or whatever the case might be, I don't personally relate to those people, right? So for me, in order for me to be inspired, I want to be around other guys that I said, like, I can relate to, that have goals, that have big dreams, that are pushing themselves, that own businesses, that are making money and traveling and doing all these things, because that is something that's in alignment with my goals and what I want to do. And being around this type of people in your dating life that you want to attract, it's all about pushing yourself. It's all about, and it doesn't have to be some hard line. Like, again, it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can have a balanced approach. You can take a holistic approach to things. Stop falling for the sales pitch or the belief system that it has to be black and white. You know, it's interesting, black and white thinking, right? Well, this is black and this is white. Well, that's what I'm telling you guys, is it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can have a nuanced approach to things. You can take actions on things while also leaning into your intuitive impulses. You can follow your calling, or follow your ideas and what makes sense to do, by also having a rational approach with thought. And embracing both of them, to me, is really what has gotten me success, because once I do that, then I take the action. I get the intuitive impulses and I also take the action. And it's a beautiful thing. So again, if you are looking to grow in a certain area, I would definitely recommend, what's worked for me is learning about that area, right? When it comes to business, when it comes to health, when it comes to dating, all of these areas, I have paid people and learned more about those areas, right? I've done my blood work. I have, because for a while there during the pandemic, I was also like feeling low energy. I just wasn't feeling good. Found out I was dangerously low in vitamin D. Well, what did I do? I went and sought out somebody that had more knowledge in this area, right? She was a functional medicine doctor, really awesome person. Did my blood work, did very, very advanced levels of blood work, got all of this stuff done, found out I had all this stuff. And so that was also affecting other blood markers, the low vitamin D. And you won't know something that it's impossible for you to know what you don't know. And that's another point that I'm going to leave this video off with, is like, there are people that know and understand things in certain areas. It could, again, be any of these areas that we're discussing, that they may have knowledge or they may have insight on something that you just purely don't know. I purely didn't know about the vitamin D thing. There's other things that I have been, like something that I wouldn't have never thought of on my own. So getting around people that have these deeper layers of understanding, that have these understandings in this area, again, I mentioned in a previous video, what did people used to do? People used to do apprenticeships. People used to get around other people that had knowledge in these areas. And that's, I assume what you would be doing if you're watching these manifestation channels as well, is to absorb the knowledge that this person has. How are they able to create these things in their life? So this goes for any different area, but to take it again a step further with the black and white stuff, is like, if you're only listening to this person that's all going all in on this like Neville Goddard, I think, like, misinterpretation of Neville Goddard, that's saying that you never do anything and you just only imagine things and you just sit around, then you're really, really, like I said, limiting yourself, guys. So with that being said, I hope that this helps. I hope that this brought that nuanced thought that I'm looking to convey here. And let me know, guys, the right now, the ebook, I realized when I asked my friend to check out the ebook, when you go and click on complete purchase, it pops up on the side with the discount for the audiobook. And I realized that it's actually not very, very visible. And some people probably have been watching, because I've seen people are buying the ebook, but not very many people have bought the upsell of the ebook with the audiobook. I've had some people that have just bought straight up the audiobook by itself, but I haven't had very many people that are actually buying the bundle, which is where you get the discount. So in case you are on the page and you're interested in getting the audiobook as well, just be aware it's on the side. The website, for whatever reason, I'm using PayHip as the store. I don't know why they've designed it like that. In my opinion, it's not a very optimal design, because it's not very obvious. Like I saw my friend and he just intuitively like clicked on it because it looked like it was like some pop-up box or something. But just be aware, as soon as you click proceed to checkout, it applies the discount automatically on the audiobook. And so it's a very good deal right now to get that for half off. It's not going to be, I'm probably not going to run that any longer after April or maybe May, because I put a lot of work into that, and I'm probably going to be raising the price on both. Just because, guys, like I dedicated 6 months of my life, almost, that was my main focus, was coming up with this book. Then on top of that, the formatting and the audiobook and recording it and the editing, it's like so much work that has gone into this that I'm going to be raising the price on it soon. So like I said, if you guys are interested in that, hop on the deal and the bundle discount while it's out. With that being said, guys, much love as always, and I will see you guys in the next video.